Pocket FM.
To unlock all the episodes, click the link in bio.
Caden's mind couldn't accept that Damon found his mate. But Caden didn't have an alternate explanation for Damon's bizarre behavior. If that girl is Damon's mate, why didn't he say something? Maya rolled her eyes. Because that's Damon. He won't admit it even if you ask him outright. But think about it. Erratic behavior, one moment he wants to leave and the second one we stay? Since when does Damon refuse a free meal? He requested a tour of the Red Moon Pack, and you know that he always avoided those because when he saw things he didn't like, Damon never stayed quiet. And in the car, Damon stuck to the girl, and we both saw how gentle he acted with her. The only explanation is that he found his mate. Maya pointed at the phone. Caden, you know better than anyone how much Damon cherishes the Dark Howlers Pack. He wouldn't risk provoking the Red Moon Pack by smuggling a random woman. She's either his long-lost sister or his mate. Caden remembered how, when he met Maya, the only thing he wanted involved being with her, and nothing could get in his way, not even war. Everything Maya said made sense and pointed to the possibility that the girl who came from the trunk represented Damon's mate. Maya always showed intelligence. Caden chuckled with a hint of evil sparkling in his eyes. Damon doesn't want to admit that the girl is his mate? Let's see how long he can pull that off. Maya had a bad feeling about this. She would never consider going against Damon, even if it's a joke. However, Caden didn't have problems with it. What do you have on your mind? Maya asked reluctantly. Let's observe, for now. Caden said while rubbing his chin with the tips of his fingers. Caden didn't want to share too much with Maya, knowing that she wouldn't approve and probably worry. But Damon gave a hard time to Caden ever since he found Maya, and Caden thought how this presented a great opportunity to get even. Caden noticed one more oddity. Assuming that Talia represented Damon's mate, something didn't seem right. She appeared indifferent toward Damon. Did she not know Damon represented her mate? Damon said how something seemed off with Talia's wolf, but based on her scent, Caden knew she definitely belonged to werewolves, and he concluded that nothing seemed wrong with her. If Talia is Damon's mate, there existed so many things Caden could do to rile up Damon. And if Damon hid the truth, it would only make things easier for Caden. Caden's smile widened while he thought of wicked ways to mess with his alpha. He could try to separate them, or to make Damon believe he had competition. Caden would pay big money to see Damon drowning in jealousy. Ha! This would be fun. Maya observed Caden's expression that changed rapidly, and she knew that Caden came up with something Damon wouldn't like. Damon and Caden stood at the helm of the largest pack in North America, yet the two of them sometimes behaved no better than toddlers. However, that childish and playful attitude Damon showed only toward Caden and not for anyone else, Damon had a nasty temper. If that woman really represented his mate, Damon would only be more irritable if anyone messed with her. Maya disconnected the video call so that Damon and Talia had privacy. Maya felt happy for Damon. Finding a mate brought wonderfulness for any werewolf. They gave each other comfort and purpose in life, and she understood how Damon felt lonely under that grumpy facade. Would Talia make a good Luna? Well, if Damon and Talia represented mates, Talia would become their Luna, regardless of her readiness for the job. But Maya didn't worry. Everything could be learned as long as there existed a will, and Maya would happily hand over her current duties to Talia so that she could focus on helping Caden as a beta. At the same time, Maya felt sorry for Talia. Damon didn't present an easy man to be with, and Talia would definitely have a hard time. I don't think Damon will wake up the girl, Caden said. That gives us probably a few hours. He wiggled his eyebrows mischievously while inching closer to Maya in slow motion. Talia dreamt that she stood in a forest. It appeared light and airy despite the massive trees that surrounded her. She picked up a delicious scent of dark chocolate and her tummy rumbled. She felt hungry. Talia started moving about, trying to locate the source of that scent. It had been years since she ate chocolate the last time, and she really wanted to have some now. She walked slowly at first, but then she broke into a run as the scent became more potent, inviting her to enjoy the smooth, sweet delicacy. Suddenly, a tree appeared out of nowhere, and Talia slammed herself into it, just like in cartoons, with her arms and legs around it. "Ah!" Talia cried softly, and her eyes fluttered open. There existed no forest and no tree. Damn it. It represented a dream, a potentially tasty one. She wished that it lasted only a few more seconds so that she could get a bite or two of that delicacy that called for her. Maybe if she closed her eyes, she could resume that dream and find the source of that mouth-watering scent. Talia thought how something didn't seem right. She ascertained that she woke up, however, she could still smell the forest and the dark chocolate, and she definitely hugged something. Talia blinked, and her drowsy state turned into panic immediately. She found herself in an unknown room, and the thing she hugged didn't represent a tree, but a sleeping alpha. What the heck? Why did their legs lay one over the other? And why did his biceps serve as her pillow? Talia carefully removed her hands from Damon's body and tried to move away from him, only to realize that she couldn't move. Ah! His arm encircled her and she couldn't budge. She felt like crying. When Damon told her to come with him, he mentioned a room and clothes and food and a doctor, and there existed no mentioning of this. Hugging. Talia wondered, how did she find herself in this situation? The last thing she remembered involved dozing off in the back of a car. How did she end up in a room, in the bed, with an alpha holding her against him? Talia wanted to go back to her attic, or maybe into the trunk of the car. Anything seemed better than here. She noticed the even fallen rise of his chest, and she concluded that he slept, so she relaxed a bit. Talia looked up at the man beside her, and her breath hitched at the sight of Damon's gorgeous visual. His unruly raven hair fell over his forehead, long lashes, full lips, strong jaw. Everything about him looked handsome, even the small bump at the base of his nose and a day-old stubble. It should be illegal to be this attractive, Talia thought. No wonder Princess Marcy raged at the thought that Alpha Damon might think bad of her. Talia shook those thoughts away and chided herself. She should not think of Alpha Damon as attractive. Actually, she should not think about him at all. Talia painfully understood her non-existent background, and if she allowed herself to see Alpha Damon as anything more than her benefactor, as someone who took pity on her, she would only deceive herself and end up hurting.
Please subscribe to the Pocket FM YouTube channel and press the bell icon for instant notification. Check out our channel for more such exciting shows.
Talia glanced around, as much as her current position allowed, and observed the hotel room. It looked nice and clean. What about the other two people? She concluded that this didn't represent the Dark Howler's pack. Did they make a stop along the way? Maybe this marked the part where she found out how Damon tricked her, and he planned to sell her kidneys and liver, and then discard her in the forest for beasts to eat her. She didn't dare to wake Damon up, and she couldn't get out of his hold without big movements either. She felt stuck. Talia resigned herself to the current situation, and she slowly returned to her original position, with her head on Damon's arm. But this time, she kept her hands to herself. Just thinking that her arm draped over his firm abs made her blush profusely. Talia took a deep breath and savored Damon's scent of forest and dark chocolate. It smelled nice, and for some unknown reason, it relaxed her. She closed her eyes in the hope of falling asleep and dreaming of that chocolatey forest again. Talia let out a long exhale, and in the next moment, Damon shifted sideways, entrapping her completely in his arms and holding her so close that her face stuck to his chest. His breath seeped into her scalp, making her hair stand on ends. Talia couldn't see when Damon's lips lifted into a smile. He felt content that she gave up on leaving. From the moment Talia woke up, Damon woke up as well, but he stayed still while waiting to see what she would do. Damon knew Talia had wounds that needed tending, and that she probably felt hungry as well, but he wanted to extend this moment in bed for just a bit longer. Damon cradled Talia in his arms, and he enjoyed the sweet citrusy scent of freesia that somehow got amplified by the sensational sparks wherever his body touched Talia's. He didn't mind Talia's frame, but he would prefer if she felt stronger and not in danger of being carried away by the wind. Ever since she entered his sight 2 days ago, other than cuts and bruises from Marcy's beating, Talia hit her head in the refrigerator, she bumped her forehead in the window of a car, and she fell off of a bed, and those represented only things he saw. Damon felt convinced that Talia seemed prone to injuries. He never saw such a clumsy werewolf. Adorably clumsy. When he held Talia's hand, the sparks felt more intense than over the clothes, and he wondered how it would feel if they increased the surface. But Talia seemed uncomfortable around Damon. His wolf stayed silent, but Damon could feel the happiness that radiated from the ancient creature. His index finger brushed her skin, and he jolted upon contact. The sparks felt like an electric current, catching him by surprise, and he cursed internally when Talia stirred. Talia drifted in and out of sleep, and she didn't feel sure if she dreamed about his hand moving about in her area. Talia slowly lifted her head, and she froze when she spotted icy blue eyes which observed her intently. She thought that she might imagine it, or that he did it in his sleep. But this? Just what did this mean? Talia didn't think that she compared to any of the pretty girls, and a guy who looked handsome and powerful like Damon would definitely have plenty of beauties around him. It never crossed her mind that Damon might show interest in her. Talia became painfully aware that he held her. They both lay on their sides facing each other, and his arms encircled her, and he watched her. She wanted to move away or to say something, anything, but her tongue refused to cooperate, and she felt the heat seeping into her cheeks. "Did you have a good sleep?" Damon's deep voice shook the silence away. Talia responded with a small nod. Damon hummed in approval. "How do you feel? Are you in pain?" "It's fine," Talia responded in a small voice and forcibly inhaled to get some oxygen in her system and snap out of her daze. Right. She represented Talia. No one. She escaped the Red Moon Pack, and she had no idea where she headed, but she knew that at that moment she'd been with an alpha, and she felt the urgency to increase the distance between them. No matter how handsome he looked, or how good he smelled, this didn't seem proper. "Hey, do you—" "I have a name," he cut her off sternly. Talia realized that she called him "hey" again, and that he didn't like it. She grew up in the Red Moon Pack, but due to her special circumstances, Talia didn't get exposed to the strict hierarchy that werewolves followed, so those things didn't get ingrained in her. However, she felt familiar with the protocols. "I apologize, Alpha Damon." "Damon," he interrupted her again. It didn't sound right when she used his title to call him. "Just Damon." Alpha represented the title that symbolized strength, while reminding others of respect and submission, and he didn't feel that seemed appropriate for her. "Damon," Talia said awkwardly, and Damon smiled victoriously. "Can you let me go, please?" Damon's smile fell when he heard her question. "Why do you make it sound like I'm holding you against your will?" he asked with a slightly pitiful expression. Talia felt confused. Did she give him permission to hold her? That could happen only if she did it in her sleep. Did she throw herself at him? Damon saw Talia's frantic expression, and he chuckled. "You fell off the bed. I'm holding you so that you don't get another bruise on top of existing ones." "Oh." A sound escaped Talia's lips.
Well, thank you. I'm awake now, so can you let me go?
Damon cocked an eyebrow and ignored her question. Do you want to freshen up? While you shower, I can order some food.
Will you let me go if I agree?
Talia asked helplessly. Not necessarily. Damon responded with a straight face. Talia swallowed hard.
If you don't let me go, how will I eat?
I can feed you, Damon replied. Damon saw color draining from her face, and he cleared his throat while trying to salvage the situation. I meant, if your injuries bother you, I can help you eat.
No need,
Talia squeaked, and she scrambled off the bed clumsily the moment Damon released her from his hold. She dashed into the bathroom, closed the door, and locked it with a loud click sound. Damon stared at the door with a complex expression on his handsome face.
Please subscribe to the Pocket FM YouTube channel and press the bell icon for instant notification. Check out our channel for more such exciting shows.
Pocket FM. To unlock all the episodes, click the link in bio.